Scene opens with a gloomy afternoon, clouds heavy with the promise of rain. The town is quiet, hushed, as though it senses something stirring beneath its surface. The wind moves through empty streets, whispering secrets only the brave dare to hear. In every town, there are places the light dares not linger, places where time stands still, and the air hangs thick with forgotten sorrow. She walked with purpose, drawn by a force she could not name. The path led her to an old library, untouched by the noise of the world outside. Dust covered the shelves, and silence reigned within its walls, broken only by the creak of the floor beneath her steps. The past had called her here. The room was dim, lit only by the faint light filtering through grimy windows. The smell of aged paper and forgotten memories filled the space, and somewhere within these walls, the truth awaited. Books lined every wall, tall and towering, as if guarding their contents jealously. But one section stood apart, older, darker. Its shelves bowed under the weight of time. Her fingers brushed along the spines, feeling the stories held within. One book, older than the rest, seemed to breathe beneath her touch. It fell open, pages yellowed, ink faded, yet the story within pulsed with life. A tale of a family long gone, a home abandoned, a girl lost to the ages. The pages spoke of a child, her eyes hollow, her heart silenced by tragedy. She had once worn a pendant, crimson and alive, much like the one now bound to another soul. The family's disappearance had never been solved. They had simply vanished, leaving behind only whispers and shadows. But the girl had remained. A photograph slipped between the pages revealed her face, young, delicate, with eyes that seemed to see beyond the veil of the living. Around her neck, the same cursed jewel, glowing faintly even in the black and white world of the past. The wind outside howled, rattling the windows, as if protesting the unearthing of secrets best left buried. And then, the book began to change. The pages turned themselves, frantic as though desperate to be heard. Words twisted, ink running like fresh blood. And upon the last page, a message formed. "Free me." The room darkened, shadows stretching across the floor, reaching. The silence deepened, no longer empty but filled with a presence unseen. In the flickering light, the air grew colder, heavy with sorrow and something older still, a grief that had never found peace. The whispers began, soft at first, rising with each breath. They told of pain, of betrayal, of a soul bound by a curse she did not deserve. The girl had waited, trapped within the walls of forgotten places, her voice lost, save for the desperate plea etched in blood. The truth was clear now. The pendant was not just a relic, it was a prison, and within it the child's soul cried out for release. But freedom came at a cost. The wind ceased, the room stilled, and in that heavy silence, the weight of the story settled like dust. The book closed itself slowly, final, yet the echoes remained. There would be no rest until the chain was broken, until the past was set free, and as the light faded and the storm outside broke loose, the story of the ghost girl lived on, waiting, watching, hoping to be heard again. The walls of the library held more than books. They held a promise, one that could not be ignored, not anymore. But the tale did not end there. The night that followed was unlike any other. The skies bled crimson, and the moon, swollen and veiled in mist, cast an eerie glow upon the earth. The town seemed to sink into itself, as if recoiling from what was awakening. Within the library, strange symbols began to appear on the walls, glowing faintly, pulsing in time with a heart long still. Ancient runes, indecipherable yet heavy with power, marked a boundary between worlds. Candles once unlit flared to life on their own, casting trembling shadows that danced across the room. And in their light, figures moved, specters of the past, replaying their final moments in a silent, sorrowful loop. Among them, the girl appeared, more vivid than before. Her eyes met the void, her mouth forming words that could not be heard. Yet their meaning was clear. She reached out, fingers brushing the air, longing to touch, to feel, to be free. The library became a sanctuary of spirits, each bound by threads of regret and despair. Their energy fed the pendant, keeping its curse alive, anchoring them to a fate they could not escape. Time twisted further. Reality frayed. The walls seemed to breathe, the ceiling rippled like water, and the floor threatened to give way beneath unseen weight. The girl's story unfolded anew, revealing layers hidden from mortal eyes. She had been betrayed, sacrificed to protect others, her pain sealed within the crimson stone. Those who had sought to help her had failed, consumed by the very force they sought to end. Now, a new hope stirred, but hope, like all things, was fragile. The air thickened, heavy with voices, a chorus of lost souls chanting, pleading, warning. Their cries wove through the fabric of the night, a dirge for the forgotten. In the heart of the storm, the pendant shone like a star, defiant and cruel. Its power surged, drawing the spirits closer, feeding on their longing. Yet amidst the darkness, a light flickered, faint but unyielding. A promise that the cycle could be broken, that the girl's torment could end. The library stood on the threshold of worlds, a bridge between the living and the dead. And as dawn struggled to rise, the final chapter waited to be written, one of release or ruin.